Hi everyone, today I'm going to do a pick-me-up makeup. I think, you know, it is January after all, particularly here in the UK and in Northern Europe. It's really dark in January and quite miserable and rainy and cold. And that on top of the fact that we're in lockdown number 3, I think that just putting on some makeup and cheering myself up with makeup is definitely going to be a good move. So I'm going to use lots of new things as well because I've been sorting out my studio quite a bit recently and I noticed that I had all these new things and I hadn't tried them out. And if you follow me on Instagram, you may have heard that I had a flood in my studio, which is why I haven't done a video for a while. I haven't done one since before New Year, actually. Yeah, that wasn't great and definitely been tricky the last couple of weeks, just trying to clear it all out. No makeup was harmed, thank God. But yeah, it's been a bit of a nightmare actually. So the first new thing I'm going to use is for base, and I'm going to use this Typology, which is a new French brand, very natural, 99% natural ingredients. And this is their tinted serum. I'm in between shade 1 and 2. There are only 6 shades, I think, so it is difficult to find your exact shade. So I've mixed 1 and 2 together. This one is vitamin C, squalane, and aloe vera. Oh, that's still a bit, oh no, it's okay. It was a bit too pale then. I tried this already and I find that it's really moisturizing. So I'm using it without any moisturizer underneath, because when I moisturized first, I found that I was just very, very shiny, which it was too shiny for me. So I needed so much powder. So you don't really need to use a brush for this. You can just use fingers because it does just feel like you've got serum on. I almost feel like I've just taken off a sheet mask. You know, that when you leave the serum on and then you kind of blend it all in and your skin just looks so glowy. It's that kind of a vibe. And I think this colour worked out well. So I'm just kind of smoothing it in. If you had really dry skin, I think this would be perfect on its own. I think what I need now is either a bit of foundation or concealer, just here and there. I'm going to try this new one. This is by Monika Blunder, who's a makeup artist in LA, lovely girl. And she sent me to try out some of her concealer and foundation creams. I'm just going to check the colour. These are 100% natural as well. So they're quite oil-based, so they'll definitely, for me, need setting. But I'm quite excited to try these out. I always like trying out makeup artist products. I'm going to try this one, which is shade number 2. I'm going to use this under my eyes, just to lift any shadows there. This is all natural ingredients in here. There's Edelweiss and Amica oil. So again, I'm going to really need to set this so it doesn't crease too much. But I think that it's going to be a really nice light look anyway. I'll just check at the inner corner. Just check the colour as well. Oh yeah. Just blend it there. Yeah, that seems like a good colour for me. I'm also just going to apply a little bit of coverage just in the corner of my nose, around my mouth. Touch on the chin. This blends really nicely. Before I do anything now, I am going to powder because I feel like that is going to need a set. Looks really nice. I'm going to use this powder, which is the Hyaluronic powder, pressed powder by Terry. And I'm just going to set under my eyes the concealer and around my nose. Looks very good. And I think that's nice because I've managed to kind of take the edge off and take the shine off in the areas where I don't want it, but I still feel very, very glowy and fresh from my facial, which is exactly what I wanted. So next I'm going to use some blush. I'm going to use Velvet Beauty as a blush. Blush just always cheers me up. If I've got the January blues, and here in the UK, we're on 3rd lockdown at the moment, and it's by far the hardest. I know lots of my friends all around the world that have gone into another lockdown feel the same. I think it's the combination of another lockdown and it's dark and it's miserable. And it's like a little bit like no end in sight, because we don't really know when this one will end, which is why a little bit of blush always helps. So I put quite a bit on. Going to let that kind of almost melt into the tinted serum that's underneath. So I'm applying that in the area where I haven't yet powdered, and that will, with the warmth of my face, that will all start to almost meld in together, blend in together. Next I'm going to use some bronzer. This one smells of coconuts and holidays. It's making me think of beach holidays, which is so nice. I'm going to use this on my eyelids and then all around the side of my face, coming into just under the cheekbones, but not too much. Almost just setting the serum that I've used there, but also creating a little bit of warmth and shape as well. A little bit on my neck. Jawline. Next I'm going to use some brown eyeliner. This is a new one I'd like to try, and this is by Sweed lashes because I love their eyelashes. So I thought I would try their pencil. It says it's very creamy but long lasting. So I'm just going to work this into my lash roots. Really in between those lashes, so almost just massaging the roots. Tap, tap, tap. A little bit fuller towards the end. And then I'm going to do a little bit of thickening it up there, just to that outer corner. And then I'm going to look straight ahead and lift it up a little bit further. And then I'm going to blend it. Fingers will do. And it's nice and soft and blendable. Once my mascara's on, I might actually lift that up a little bit higher, but that's a good basis. I think once you've done in between the eyelashes, you can always do your eyeliner more once your mascara's on. So just get into the lashes to start with. So just before I do my mascara, I'm just going to have a look how my skin is sort of settling in. I'm going to actually do a bit more powdering now. As I said, the combination of these products, I think definitely if you are a touch less dry, more on a normal or a combo, then you would need a little bit more powder. I'm actually going to just powder straight from the thing here and just set again. I'm still going to leave all the shine all around the outside, so we've got that lovely glow there, but I do feel around my chin area we're starting to look a little bit shiny. So just setting it. I'm not using too much powder. So now I'm just going to give my eyelashes a good curl. Before I do my mascara, I'm just using, it's the same pencil type, it's a Sweed pencil. This one's a slightly off-white rosy pink shade. Over a little bit just along my lower lash line there, just to really open my eyes. So onto mascara, and I'm going to use the new Lancôme Idole. I like this one because it's really separating and lengthening. So it's not like Miss Your Big or one of those that gives you mainly volume. This one does give volume, but it's definitely more about that defined look, which I think with this natural makeup look, it's nice when you have that natural lash look as well. So I'm just working it into the roots of the lashes, and it's so good because you don't need to brush them. It just goes on and separates them all and gives you that lovely defined lash. And then just underneath as well. I think along with blush, curling your eyelashes and putting on mascara is always the quickest way just to give yourself a real lift. Just because it's so instant and it's not difficult to do. It's just, you know, it's just a sort of magic trick almost. So I'm just going to go back in with my bronzer, my matte bronzer. Firstly, because I want to smell that delicious coconutty smell again. Secondly, just going to blend in my socket line there. Underneath, I'm just doing exactly the same thing. I'm taking the bronzer almost to create warmth and give my eye a bigger shape. Sometimes if you put a line underneath, it almost doesn't give your eye a bigger shape, whereas if you put a shadow under, then it's really soft and somehow it blends in with everything else. It just creates more space and brings it all together. So it's definitely not a line, it's really more of a shadow. So before I go on to my brows, I'm just going to put some lip balm on. This has a little bit of pearl in it as well. And let that sink in while I'm working on my brows. So for brows, I want to show you two new things. One I've already tried out and the other one I'm just wanting to try out. So the first one is this, which is a new ink pen by Benefit, and it has almost 3 little spikes to it to create 3 hairs. When I saw this, I thought that looks very gimmicky because I hate gimmicky stuff. But then I used it and I was like, okay, it's actually really good. This is definitely more if you just want to create some fine hairs. So I like this here, just at the front of my eyebrow. And you just stroke on. And each stroke gives you kind of 3 micro hairs, if you like. You can see it, this there on my hand. Very subtle. I think you do need a very light hand when you use this, so it depends how used to using this type of product you are. But I've definitely found it useful for this little, filling in this little gap at the front. Just take it very lightly. And you can almost see each little hair that you paint on, which I really like. You can also use it along here, but again, you have to be quite careful that you're going super light-handed. And then you can still brush as well, just to soften, further soften, if you put on too many strokes or something. So before I do all my finishing touches, I'm just going to put a little bit of colour on my lips, not to kind of look like lipstick. So I'm just going to use a brush, a little fluffy pointy brush, and just mix in a touch of colour, but mixing it with the pearlized lip balm. Just for a fresh lip. So I think that makeup looks done, but I just want to have a check of everything. And this is, I think, the most important part of a makeup is when you think you finished and you go and check everything. And I definitely think I don't want to use any highlighter because the combination of this serum, tinted serum, and this foundation concealer, I think has given me more than enough glow. So I wouldn't want to add on top of that, I don't think, highlighter. So I think that feels really nice. And then just a tiny bit more powder, just there. And there. Yeah, I think that's it. I think it's really nice because when I look at myself, I don't really feel necessarily any particular makeup. There's nothing that's really overpowering, like a big liner or a big lash or anything. It's just given me this health boost, which is really strange. Like mentally, I feel like a health boost. And it's almost like if I looked at myself now, I'd think, well, not much has changed, but I just almost want to look now at the before and to see how I looked and just to see how this makeup has really just lifted my skin. It's lifted the shape of my face and it's made my eyes so much brighter and my lips fuller, obviously. And I think that's the wonderful thing about makeup. It's something that there's such a strong connection really between, I think, how you look and how you feel. I felt quite when I came in this morning, you know, with this flood in the studio and this smell of damp when you walk in. It's been quite depressing, but now I've kind of forgotten about that. I'm just gelling my eyebrows now. I went to get this, is the Benefit gel. I think pushing those eyebrows up lifts your mood as well. Yeah, I think that's it. So I hope that was helpful. Hope you're surviving January and this, you know, everything that's going on at the moment and managing to stay positive. And please let me know in the comments if now that I'm back in my studio, we're kind of able to work here again, which is great. It means I'm going to be able to make some more tutorials. So yes, let me know if there's any looks that you particularly would like to see. And until then, stay safe and lots of love. Bye.